know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
And another week has come to a close, which means, hey, it's time for us, those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith, who has slipped the surly bonds of the golf cave at Otter Creek, the plain and simple golf school, and has found himself battered by the winds at Whistling Straits. Life is really bad for you, Jeff.
It's well worth it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's well worth it. Because, when we're done playing, we get to get back in the car, we get to drive back home.
Yeah.
But then we will have successfully
a lasting memory.
I know what successful really is. I think success is actually off the golf course with balls still in your bag. I think that is success.
If you leave with some of the balls you came with, you'll be fine. Yes, indeed. I understand.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, realistically, you're going to be looking for golf balls all day.
Yeah.
So put it in your bag.
That's it. Keep it, put it in the pocket. Don't tell anybody
what it is.
Walk away. You're going to need them later.
If it's an old Dunlop or a Molitor or something.
You're going to need it. Let me tell you.
Because you're going to use it.
And let me tell you what's coming up here so far today on Those Weekend Golf Guys. Jeff is going to talk about how to play in the wind because he's been really doing that. We're going to talk about how to play in fall conditions, whether it be windy, wettish, and leaves. Man, how do you find golf balls in leaves? We're going to give you some pretty good ideas on that. And then we're going to talk about putting and putters. It's 43% of every stroke you take on the golf course is a putt. And we want to make sure that those pay off for you handsomely. We're going to be talking with Jim Grunberg of Seymour Putters, and we're going to be talking to Ty Sherrill, who is the Putt Whisperer. That's all coming up. It's going to be a good day with Those Weekend Golf Guys. And Jeff, I mean, every day is a good day with Jeff. I mean, you play golf, you teach golf, you're on a golf course for a living. He has no room for complaint whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a nice life.
Yeah.
If you can get it, it works out.
Yeah.
But, it does require a couple things. It does require that your students actually get better, or you run out of business really fast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they do.
So what you do is you find the best golfers out there.
So it helps your reputation, huh?
That's the best part.
That's
that
it.
way, if you already find somebody who's successful, realistically, what you got to do is you got to help the people who come to you and say, "Look, I'm so frustrated that I'm going to quit the game," and you help them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was never to the point where I was frustrated enough to quit the game.
And then you make them happy. And then they play more golf.
That's right.
They're happy.
That's right. I want you. You can always use me. Always use me as as a non-paid.
As the guy who probably should quit the game. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, man. You are cruising, man. Cruising for bruising, let me tell you. But you can always use me as a happy customer, even though I haven't paid you a dime. But my game has improved substantially just talking to you. I was going to tell the people flat out, I have never sat down in front of Jeff Smith and said, okay, teach me, oh guru. I have played golf with him on 2 occasions when I've asked for advice, and I've gotten it only when I've asked, and I've gotten it, and I use it, and it works. And I got to tell you a little story, all right? Now, again, this is going to be considered by many to be self-aggrandizement, but it isn't. But I played on Sunday after we did our live show here in town.
Uh-huh.
And one of the guys we played with says, man, how are you getting so much better than you were even just last year? And I said, well, I've been studying. I've been paying attention. I've been asking questions, and I've been getting some tips and some lessons. Maybe you should try it. That comment didn't go very well, but you know how it is. But I got to tell you specifically.
It all sounds, it's all about how you say it.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But that's.
Because if you say it with that fun little dig, like you just did, maybe you should try it.
Yeah. I guess they did kind of read it the wrong way, didn't they? But a specific story, I got to tell you, man, second shot went a little bit awry of a green, was landing in a greenside bunker. Okay. And I was playing with a guy who thinks he's a golf guru. And he says, man, you stink getting out of bunkers. You always have. Let me show you how to do this. So he gets in the bunker and takes the shot and gets it out and puts it on the green. I said, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks. And just to appease him, I set up the way he did. I said, you mean like this? And he said, yeah, that's it. And then did it the way we worked on getting out of the bunker, and
right.
Not only got out of the bunker, but put it in the hole. Yeah, chipped in for a bird.
I bet he hated that.
Yeah, he was not the happiest of campers when that happened. So that's the way things go there. But I just got to say, take a lesson. If you can't take a lesson, ask Jeff. And you can ask Jeff through our website, thoseweekendgolfguys.com. There's Jeff's Quick Fix. Go there. He's got some stuff up there. Subscribe to our newsletter because we have a little video tip of the week every week on the newsletter, and you can subscribe there through the website, thoseweekendgolfguys.com. Or you can always get on facebook.com/golfguys and ask a question if you want to.
And
participate.
You know what? Everybody that answers, that asks,
gets answered.
I send them back.
I
answer them directly.
Exactly.
Give me the information. I will call you and I will talk about it, and we'll do it online.
Exactly.
And it's just easy.
It is so simple, and you don't have to.
What a benefit of being one of our
listeners. That's it. A lot of people do not go to Golf Pros for lessons for the same reason they don't go to gyms. They figure they don't want to embarrass. They're not good enough to do something in front of a golf pro without embarrassing themselves. Like people say, I got to lose weight. I got to get in shape before I can go to the gym. This way you can get in front of a golf pro without having to do anything that might otherwise embarrass you. So take advantage. Go to thoseweekendgolfguys.com, click on Jeff's Quick Fix, and it will be fixed quickly. Trust me, the man knows whereof he speaks. Listen, we've told you what's coming up here. You're going to learn how to putt better. You're going to learn how to find your balls in the leaves. You're going to do all kinds of great stuff. It is all coming up as you would expect with those Weekend Golf Guys. Another wonderful hour of golf talk. Give us 2 minutes and we will be right back and we'll get into it. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. Don't go away.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobites is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobites for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobites, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobites isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobites now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Smith to talk about one of my favorite teaching aids. It's the Putting Stroke Teacher. It is so simple. You clamp it onto your putter. It's got a rod that sticks out through it. You rest your forearms up against this rod. It's fully adjustable. You make your stroke. Your forearms are level. Your putter face goes exactly where it's supposed to. You get to see it all. Make your adjustments as necessary. Everybody needs one of these. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Again, it's tpsteacher.com. Get yours today.
And welcome back, those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith at Whistling Straits. Did they build a special golf cave for you, or did they say, hey, we're Whistling Straits, man, you get what you get?
They didn't want to essentially tell me to go stand outside on the top of one of those peaks and try to broadcast from there, because I would have been blown over and all you guys would have heard whistling through the microphone. But I did manage to garner a little small space in the locker room.
Oh, okay.
And so that's
great.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, listen, we played in a scramble last week. The those Weekend Golf Guys scramble team was assembled yet again.
Uh-huh.
No, you were invited, but you were going to Whistling Straits, and you got to choose, man.
Yeah.
So you're spending
a
week.
I hate you were not in first place.
No, I'm not a priority, man. We've worked together long enough for me to understand that. However. What was the problem? This was, Columbus Day, last week, Columbus Day. And it was, not really cool. It was about 72, 73, very comfortable for this time of year. But it was windy, and there were leaves all over the place, and the grass was a little bit puffy. Is that a word to explain? Even the fairways were a little puffy, and then you're up there at Whistling Straits, and they don't call that Whistling Straits for nothing. It's because the wind is like constant. And Whistling Straits is what, in Wisconsin?
It's in Wisconsin.
Look at a map. There are places in Canada farther south than Wisconsin. So it's got to be substantially chillier up there. And you've got folks up there playing in tournament golf. What can you do? Because a lot of us say, "Oh, it's too cold, it's too windy, I'm going to put the clubs up." No, that is not an option.
Yeah, they don't get that chance.
Yeah.
They're out there and they're bundled up, and you look at these players. And you can't tell who's who, because they're all got 2 to 3 layers on.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the Under Armour, layer. Sorry about that, in case you're not sponsored by Under Armour.
We'll send them a bill.
We'll have that, the tight underlayer that keeps everybody warm, and then they've got their regular clothing on, and then they've got a light jacket on top of that, and then they got another light jacket on top of that just to break the wind.
Yeah.
So here we are. They got ear muffs or headbands on, or knit hats, and they're all looking frozen, and they're all looking stiff on the golf course because it's cold, it's blustery, and they're out there playing. But you know what they're all doing? The good players, they're hitting low shots. They're not throwing the ball up into the air. They're not taking their pitching wedge and finishing high. They are taking their shots near the greens from 100 yards in. Instead of hitting wedges, they're hitting these little bump 9-irons, things that the wind is not going to affect. They're landing it in front of the green to let it bounce on. They're landing it on the front of the green, hoping it will stay.
Yeah.
The good players are learning to keep the ball out of the wind as best as possible. And so what they're doing is they're cutting off their backswings, making them a little bit shorter, and they're certainly cutting off their forward swings that it looks like they're trying to shallow their club out coming through the ball and finish with their arms and club low.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps the loft and the spin down, and that really helps a lot, because otherwise they'd just be at the mercy of the wind.
Yeah.
And I've seen some drives today, really big high bombs, and the wind just pushes it off into the I can't play it's.
Oof, I've been there. I hate the I can't play it's.
Yeah,
and at Whistling Straits, that's you got about a 20-yard wide fairway, and then the rest of it is like, oh, sorry about your luck.
Yeah, pretty much. I would tell you, if you had to say what's a percentage of the golf course that you can play on,
mm-hmm.
and with a decent lie and can get a club on the ball and those kind of things,
mm-hmm.
including the tee boxes and including the greens, I would say it's under 10% of the course that gives you a good place to play from.
That's not fun. That's not fun golf, man.
But let me tell you, there are ways that you can combat the wind. A lot of people think that they can combat the wind by teeing the ball down. That actually is one of the things that makes people swing down further at it, and it creates more spin.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do is I would tee it at your normal tee height and sweep it lower back, and don't get your arms up in the air too much. Get them more back and forth, and have the club be more, let's try to say level to the surface coming through, where it's not coming down
mm-hmm.
and it's not traveling up.
Oh, okay.
And hit it a bit more that way,
mm-hmm.
and you get a bit more run out. You're reducing the amount of spin, and you're keeping the ball low. Now, granted, you're not going to hit the ball quite as far as normal, but this is not normal conditions.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about how do you play in brutal, tough conditions in the wind. We're not talking about, hey, it's a beautiful sunshiny day, it's 86 degrees, and there's about a 5-mile-an-hour wind at my back. We're not talking about that day. We're talking about how do we pummel the ball and get it into where I can play it and keep it pretty darn straight. I'm telling you, if you just take it back where the club head is traveling a little bit more level to the surface for a longer period of time, back behind the ball and forward through the ball, you're really going to have a better time, and because it won't go sideways on you as much because the wind will not mess with you as much.
Well, a 200-yard drive, a worm burner maybe that goes 200 yards and lands in the fairway is going to be better than a 250-yard drive in the air that you can't find.
Yeah, if you can get out there and hit it 200 yards high, you're probably going to have the best round of anybody in your group.
Yeah. Why is it that on brutally windy days, 1, 2, 3 club winds, and we could do a whole show on the math to figure out a 1, 2, or 3 club wind, why is it never behind you? It's always like coming from your face or from the left or from the right or something. It's never directly behind you, man. What up with that? Yeah,
there's this guy out there that has control over the things. His last name is Murphy.
I gotcha. And he makes the laws, huh?
Yeah, he makes the laws of the fact that you're always going to be hitting into a head crosswind, and it's always going to be blowing toward the thing you don't want to play from or can't play from. At the same time, the fairway will also be sloped in that same direction.
Yeah, it's just the way things work out, man. Just the way things work out. I tell you, we are going to we're going to take a quick break right here, and then we're going to come back, and we are going to delve into probably the most important part of fall golf, and that's how do you find your ball in fallen leaves. Don't go away. We will be right back. We're on those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America. Don't move.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed sold out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Hey, Jeff, I got to come to you, man. I need some help. Out playing golf last weekend, 4 of us, at least 2 of them, outdrove me on a regular occasion.
To pick up your club head speed, I have found these training aids that are just the world's best thing I've ever seen. Super Speed Golf has some training aid sticks, and they've got this beautiful training program that goes with them that you can get online. My clients have picked up a lot of club head speed and a lot of distance in a relatively short period of time. I'm more impressed with this than I am with anything else that I've ever seen on the market to make people swing their club faster. And we all know that's what, one of the big factors in producing distance.
That's right. Faster equals longer. That's what I'm looking for, man. Longer.
That's right.
By being faster. Super Speed. What's the website? Where do I go?
Superspeedgolf.com. Go to superspeedgolf.com. Pick up some of these sticks. Go through their training program. It is eye-popping how much distance you'll pick up.
Hi, we are those Weekend Golf Guys. Welcome back. I'm John Ashton. Jeff Smith, of course, co-host up there at Whistling Straits. He's dealing with wind. He's dealing with cold. And no matter where in the country you are, it's fall. The clocks go back here in another week or so. I'm so confused. They keep changing it. But that's going to really reduce the amount of afternoon golf you get to play, too. You're no longer going to be able to tee off at 2 and finish before sunset, which kind of ticks me off. But it is what it is. It's the season.
Yeah.
And one of the problems with this season, man, is that, tree-lined fairways are beautiful in spring and summer, not so much in the fall. As you hit your ball, you can watch your ball very nicely. Just fall off the fairway just a little bit, or even sometimes this time of year on the fairway, and you're not going to be able to find it. We need some technique on how to find a ball in leaves. You got one? Help me out, man. I think I lost 3 balls this week. Only because I watched them come down. I knew where they were, but there were so many leaves I couldn't find them.
Well, oddly enough, I'm out at Otter Creek last week, and I'm playing golf with some students. And on the other fairway are some guys, and one guy's out there, and he's hunting for his golf ball, and the other guy walks back to the cart. And I kid you not, this guy breaks out the small electric leaf blower off the back of the cart, and he starts whooshing he starts turns the thing on, and the leaves start blowing, and he points to the guy's ball, and they throw their hands up in the air going, yeah. I kid you not.
Okay. Now
I thought, that's the greatest thing ever, because they make them and they're cheap.
We have to be the first ones, man. A little compact electric leaf blower, and just market it specifically for golf. Oh, man, we'll retire rich in another year or so. We got it. We got it. Because, one of the other problems we had, because we played, like I said, in this scramble back on Columbus Day, and the greens were littered with leaves. And you can do all of the reading you want to and all of the proper alignment and the proper speed and all that, but if you're going to have to run over 5 or 6 leaves between your ball and the hole, it ain't going where you think it's going.
Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you, I think out of all the things that people bring with them to play golf, this new trend of everybody's bringing their own little portable speaker with them, and they play their own music on the cart and all that stuff, that's kind of annoying. Well, if you put something in the golf cart, these guys, they stinking leaf blower on the golf cart, and they're out there blowing leaves around, and they can find their golf ball. Mm-hmm. What a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
A little noisy. Yeah. Well, what you just said, all the leaves on the greens, all that stuff. You just walk up to the green, you got the leaf blower, I'll just blow off your line.
Yeah.
Quick as anything, and let's go putt.
Exactly.
What a heck of an idea, that.
It is. Man, work
these
on
things
it.
Are cheap. You can get one of these things, the big hardware store box places, and they're like $50.
Yeah.
I think it's a heck of an idea.
I think it is too. And if you made one small enough to actually fit in a golf bag, woohoo!
Yeah, that is a pretty good idea.
Yes, indeed.
I like that.
Yeah, buddy.
Anyway, here's a thought for you.
Okay.
Here's a thought for you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that we're playing golf together, and we've decided as a group that we're going to not lose golf balls to these stinking leaves all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have everybody out there paying attention to the tee balls. And then what has worked in the groups that I've played with that have done this is that we call out exactly what we see so everybody can hear it. Instead of just saying, yeah, I got it, I know where it is, they describe it from where it is. Like, yeah, it's just beyond the big sycamore tree in the shadow of the third branch over left of the tree. And so everybody hears that. And then they've got it. And then they got, and then they got John's ball. And they go, John, your ball, not only did it not get to the bunker, but it's in the thick rough just shy of that. And it looks like just left of the bunker down about 20 feet into a little hole. And then they start to, you get all these descriptions of where it is, and then people hear these descriptions, and it's so much easier for the guy to go down and find his golf ball. Instead of just going, yeah, I got my eye on it, it's about over there, which is a whole different story.
And then when you get to, but still, there's still time, in this time of year especially, there's places where if you don't step on that ball, you're not going to find it. No matter how much you've honed in from the tee, because it can be under a leaf, it can be maybe plugged, depending on how wet the ground itself may be. It's a tough thing, man. It's a tough thing. But that whole leaf blower idea, man, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. I'm thinking that's going to have to put our logo on that.
Yeah, indeed. Let's get Black & Decker on the line or somebody,
yeah.
Or maybe because how we love to talk about our favorite golfer. You know who he is, just because his name is so much fun to say.
Yeah. Thorbjorn Olesen.
Thorbjorn Olesen. That was a stall because the brand name that I'm thinking of. Oh, same difference. Husqvarna. We'll work a deal with Husqvarna.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, this is great.
That's all we need to do.
Those weekend golf guys, official leaf blower. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, actually,
I will take credit for it, and we'll have to edit the video or edit the audio of the thing.
Yeah.
To not give it to the guys who I actually saw doing it.
That's right. Pretty funny. It was a dream you had. Yeah, that was it. It was a dream you had, not really reality.
That's right. It came to me just last week.
That's great. But I was thinking maybe they should use radioactive ink on balls for the fall and winter seasons, and you can just go by and it just starts making a noise as you get close with any kind of a radio receiver, Oh, there's my ball right there, and the louder it is, the closer you get. It's cheaper than putting GPS chips in the middle of them,
Yeah, I just wonder what the health ramifications are of said radioactive ink.
There's always some. If it's not the USGA, it's the FDA, man. Come on, everybody's got their fingers in my future here.
Alphabet soup stopping you from having fun.
That's right. Some would say if you just hit it in the fairway, it's not going to be a problem. But that is not altogether true because leaves have a tendency to blow. Although if they mow, but they don't mow as often in the fall and winter as they do regularly, if at all, do they?
Well, that's because the grass isn't growing as fast.
The grass gets dormant, of course.
When it starts to get a little cooler, the grass is growing a little cooler. It's drier, and the grass just isn't growing as much. I mean, the bent grass still thrives, and the bluegrass still thrives up in the northern territories when it gets a little cooler, but it just doesn't grow at the same rate.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't cut it as often because they don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, so,
well. Spring and early summer, man, that stuff's growing like crazy. And, they got to cut it. Seemingly, by the time they get done cutting one part of the golf course, they're not even caught up to what they cut 3 days ago. It's already grown.
That's it. I just want to point out to those of you who are listening that this radio show is recorded and archived for future reference with a date. So basically, you want to try to beat us to market with our leaf blower idea, we got you. Man, this will be a what do they call it? A common law patent or something like that. We got it covered, man. Hey, we got a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk about putting. We're going to talk about putters. We're going to talk about all kinds of good stuff that's going to help you score lower when we come right back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. Don't you move.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobides is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobides for about 3.5 to 4 months now, and in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobides, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobides isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobides now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Jeff, you've seen me miss.
Yeah.
Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
You know, I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway. Just
Open up
get
the
it.
box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Hey, and thanks for hanging with us. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton in the studio. Jeff Smith, not at Otter Creek this week, but at Whistling Straits.
Place is awesome.
Amazing. Well, we're going to go to a place in the face of the globe right now where it's a lot warmer than at Whistling Straits, going down to Naples, Florida. I want to talk to Ty Sherrill, otherwise known as the Putt Whisperer. So while Jeff is whistling, Ty will be whispering.
I knew you were going to say that.
Ty, thanks for joining us here on those Weekend Golf Guys. Now, you are a putting expert.
Absolutely. I've been doing this for a long, long time.
Why is it that so few of us amateur golfers spend the length of time necessary to perfect our putting and rather go out to the practice tee and just blast a few drivers?
The percentages are, it's 43% of your strokes is putting.
Yep.
So you need to, at a bare minimum, spend 43% of your time working on your putting.
Yeah, most of us won't do that. It's boring.
Yeah, they get no immediate gratification. They hit a great drive, and they said that was awesome.
Yeah.
They hit a putt, and they're like, okay. If you ever do a member or a member guest, and you're sitting there on the range, and everybody's pounding golf balls off that driving range, if you look over at the putting green, guess who you're going to see over there? Last
The
year's
guys who
champion. Yeah, last year's
guys who
champion
win.
sitting over there. Exactly.
Now, you have a rather unique approach, and it's something that I have heard before. It kind of goes against stuff that most of us amateurs think about when we're putting. But
Well, I learned a long time ago, and this is nothing new, by the way. They've been doing, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, there were guys on tour that were doing what I teach, which is, and Jordan Spieth has brought it alive because he's getting great success with it. But I teach my recreational golfers. The sport of golf is eye-hand coordination. So it stands to reason that when you're putting, look at the hole and putt. You do whatever it is that you normally do, meaning that you get in your setup, you get your posture, you get your stance. The very last thing you do, look at the hole and then putt. It even takes into account of reading the green. So if you have a right to left or left to right, it's amazing what the human brain will do. The human brain will read that and will help you. When you're looking at the hole, you will putt and read that green at the same time. We just don't tap into that resource of the human brain. So I teach at the very last thing, you look at the hole and then roll that putt into the hole. The thing that makes me unique is I get people looking at that hole. Now, the difference from success, I've been doing this for 35 years, so I trust it, I believe in it. Here's the difference between the recreational golfer. When I worked with the University of South Florida's men team, I would draw a circle on the board, and I would put success, trust, and confidence, and they all feed off of each other. So when I first start teaching this, a lot of people, they're not really trusting it yet. They're like, okay, I'll try it. And all of a sudden they think a 30-footer. And they look at me with these big eyes and they start going, okay, I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid. All right, I'm starting to buy. And they think 5 or 6 of them, and then their eyes get big and they're sucking that Kool-Aid down and like, okay, I got it. And that's what I tell them is success breeds trust.
Yeah.
Trust breeds confidence. Confidence breeds success. So it's just a snowball effect. The more success they have, the greater the confidence grows, the greater the trust, and then you get to ridiculous. You can be out there at 90 feet, look at the hole, and putt. And now I'm not telling you you're going to sink it from 90 feet, but what I will tell you, the golf ball will land within about 2 or 3 feet of that hole. You will become a great lag putter. So no more 3 putts, no more 4 putts. I mean, it's 2 putts or 1. That's what I teach. That's the core of what I teach.
Well, to confidence and success and all that, can you add patience? How long would it take, in your experience, the average recreational golfer to get the technique down? Now, is it something that sinking them breeds the confidence? I'm sure, but does skepticism delay the way you can get success out of it?
The ego is a very sensitive thing. Yeah, you could make 10 of these putts in a row. You miss one, and you go, I'm not doing this. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So what I do is, the easiest way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So what I do is I start them out at 2 feet, and I set up at 2 feet, and I said, okay, get all set up. The last thing you do is look at the hole, roll the putt. Boom, they do it. Then I walk them out literally one grip on the putter. So it takes them generally out to about 3 feet. I duplicate the process. They get all set up, look at the whole putt. Boom, they go in. I work them out to about 6 feet. Then I take them back in, and I go back to 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet. Once they've done that in succession, they've never missed a putt. Now I'm ready to go to 7, 8, 9, 10 feet. If you watch Jordan Spieth, something that tickled me back at the PGA Championship, he went to 7 feet, and I thought Johnny Miller was going to have a coronary because he's always 6 feet in, he's looking at the hole, and he went to 7 feet, and Johnny Miller just like, man, I've never seen him go this far. I take my guys, once I got them 10 feet in is 70% of your putts. Whether it's you, me, whether you're handicapped, 80, you're shooting 80, you're shooting 90s. 70% of your putts, if I followed you around, 70% of your putts would come from within 10 feet. So that's where I've got to get you golden to where you're just drinking the Kool-Aid, and you step up. If it's inside 10 feet, you're like, guys, I got this. Now, once I've achieved that, and I can achieve that, be honest with you, I can achieve that in about 1 hour. Oof. Then, once I get that, I'll let you, stew over that for about a week. Go play a couple of rounds. Let it have success with you. Then the typical response I get on the second lesson, people come back and say, man, I am great inside, 6, 7, 8 feet. My challenge is 20, 25, 30 feet. That's when I know they're ready to go, okay, Now, from 25 feet, here's what I want you to do. I still want you to do all the things that you normally do, which is reading the putt, walking it off, do all those types of things. But at the end of the day, when you stand over that putt, the very last thing I want you to do from 25, 30, I don't care what the distance is you look at that hole, and you're going to roll the ball to the hole. And I tell you what, if I had to give a percentage to it, probably 20 to 25% of my students make the very first putt. And then they, like I said, their eyes get big. They're like drinking the Kool-Aid. They're like, they can't believe it. So they trust it. The others, what they typically will do is they will either they'll come up short because they don't trust it. When you don't trust it, you don't finish the putt stroke, which means you're going to come up short. They'll be right on line. That's the amazing thing. They'll be right on line, and they'll come up about 2-3 feet short, right on line. And I tell them, the only reason you came up short is because you didn't trust it, which means you didn't finish the stroke. Once you trust it, you'll start finishing high, finishing the stroke, and that ball it has four-wheel drive on it. It just looks for that hole and digs in.
That 10-foot and in thing is good, too, because most amateurs, that distance of a putt is usually for a par, if not worse.
Absolutely, and I do a lot of pro-ams, and work with guys, and it's funny. You go out there and you're working, and you'll see a lot of the tour guys. They're over there working on their, warming up for a round of golf. They're inside 3, 4, 5, 6 feet. Yeah. You got the celebrities over there, the amateurs, and they're trying to sink 30-foot putt. They're like, really? If you're a PGA guy, you got a 6% chance of making a 30-foot putt. So you're going to sit there and make 10 putts. You're going to miss every one of them. You're going to the first tee box, slapping yourself on the back of the head because you didn't make a single putt. Meanwhile, the guy who knows where the money is he's over there working on 3, 4, 5 footers. He's sinking every putt. He goes to the first tee box going, guys, you are in trouble because I am putting like wild today.
I got this. Putt Whisperer. Putt Whisperer.
That's what I do.
.com. Some good stuff on your website, too, Ty. Really appreciate that, putting that stuff on there for those of us who haven't the slightest idea what to do once we set foot on the green. We're still trying to get Jeff's technique down of walking the green and letting our feet read the break. I still haven't quite gotten that yet. But
if you combine his technique, that's why I said, I still want you to do his technique.
Yeah.
This is not a substitution. I want you've got to do those things.
Sure.
Read the putt. You've got to walk that off. You've got to do those things. Let your brain take over. Set up over the putt with all that knowledge that you just obtained by walking off the putt, et cetera. You set up over the putt, and the very last thing I want you to do is look at that hole and let your brain. This is called feel golf. You hear people say, I'm a real feel player. Mm-hmm. Usually that means they're horrible. I do my feel. That's code for I don't know what I'm doing. For the guys who know what they're doing, they get up there and they go, okay, I got this. I'm a feel player. Well, if you take a true guy who's a field player, a lower handicap, he does the walking off and he does everything. He feels the difference under your feet. He does all of that. But when he sets over the putt, he looks at that hole. His brain will take over. It'll take all the information. It'll read the putt, and I'm just telling you, your success rate will go through the roof. I don't care whether they're a single digit or if they're a bogey golfer. I really don't care. The success rate that I get is the same. When you go through my 2 lessons, short putts, long putts, I will shave roughly about 5 to 7 strokes off your handicap in those 2 lessons. When you can get those immediate results, now you got somebody starting to drink your Kool-Aid.
All right, tell you what we're going to do. Give us about 4 weeks, and I'm going to try it exclusively, putting that way. I'll watch the videos and take your advice, and then we'll get back in touch with you in about a month, and we'll talk about how it worked for me. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Come join me down here in South. I'm at Stony Brook and Estero. Just come join me here. We'll go out and play, and I'll make sure you're executing it correctly, and I'm telling you, it's going to change your game.
All right, Jeff, we're headed to Naples. You ready, man?
Yeah, man. Naples is beautiful.
Ty Sherrill, the Putt Whisperer at puttwhisperer.com. Thanks for spending some time with us here on those Weekend Golf Guys, man. And you hang out because we're coming right back, too. We are those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Smith to talk about one of my favorite teaching aids. It's the Putting Stroke Teacher. It is so simple. You clamp it onto your putter. It's got a rod that sticks out through it. You rest your forearms up against this rod. It's fully adjustable. You make your stroke. Your forearms are level. Your putter face goes exactly where it's supposed to. You get to see it all. Make your adjustments as necessary. Everybody needs one of these. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Again, it's tpsteacher.com. Get yours today.
And we're back. Thanks for hanging. John Ashton here in studio. Jeff Smith, not in the Golf Cave at Otter Creek. No. He's slumming at Whistling Straits in the wind to be whistling.
It's awful here.
It's awful.
It's awful here. Yeah, I don't recommend this to anybody unless, of course, you like golf or really great-looking property or just some of the coolest views that you'll ever see. Other than that, don't come. You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah. Maybe sometime I'll get an invitation. Oh, who knows? We want to welcome in someone who did get an invitation, at least to come hang out with us. Our buddy Jim Grunberg with Seymour Putters down in the much warmer climes of Nashville, Tennessee. Jim, thanks for hanging with us, and thanks for stopping in with those Weekend Golf Guys. How's life in the putter business, man?
It's great, absolutely. And Nashville's got some incredible weather as well that we're enjoying in the 70s. I'd love to take the weather we have right here and put it on Whistling Straits, and we could all be up there.
Let's make it a point.
Let's try that idea.
Yeah, let's make it a point to do that. Jim, of course, has been with us in the past. He is the chief honcho, the chief putter guy at Seymour Putters, and I have seen your putters, and man, you've got more and more exposure on TV every weekend these days. Just name drop a few times for us, if you would.
Well, there's only one name that people really need to know, which is Zach Johnson, who's elevated himself in 2015 into almost surefire Hall of Fame material. Mm-hmm. And, all he does is win. He wins on the PGA Tour. He wins in cup events, whether it's President's Cups or Ryder Cups. He's a phenomenal competitor. And in the end of the day, under pressure, he's a great putter. So that's how you win on tour. That's how you win major championships. He's got 2 major championships now with the 2015 British Open, to go along with the 2007 Masters. 12 wins on tour officially. He also beat Tiger head-to-head in Tiger's event, which is an unofficial PGA Tour win, but does count in the official world golf ranking. So we consider him to have 13 wins on the PGA Tour. Yeah, and he's got probably the best Ryder Cup and President's Cup combined record of any player in his generation as well. So he's 16 wins, 12 losses in a period where a lot of the guys have negative numbers up there. So anybody that's played as much as he has, 4 Ryder Cups, 4 President's Cups, he's at the top of the list. So, and his record in his last 5 Cup singles matches is unbeaten. 4 wins, no losses, and 1 half. So he's usually used by the Cup captains to prop up somebody else because he's that steady.
I see that this guy's got a second job as the marketing guy for Zach Johnson.
There you go.
I mean, Zach is
this putter business. Let's just market Zach Johnson.
Zach is probably
wouldn't take much.
He's probably the epitome, though, of the drive for dough putt or drive for show putt for dough philosophy. Because on the President's Cup last weekend, he was the shortest guy off the tee. Basically, everybody would blow by him by 40, 50 yards. Yet he did better than many of them did, and it shows how important the short game and the putting game can actually be.
Yeah, he. I mean, if you just look at the President's Cup, he and Phil Mickelson both, they played together in the team matches as the 2 oldest Americans. Sort of the team that everybody sort of raised their eyebrows and said, "Wow, what's going on there?" Phil hasn't been in form, but the 2 of them are both great clutch players. They relish the stage, the big stage. So when it came down to it, they played great together. They went 2-0-1 together, playing their games. I mean, Zach's going to hit it 280, 285, and I mean, he knows that. So that's his game is built around that, and he says that he's an amazing driver of the ball. There's really no weaknesses in his game, and he was a nice steadying influence to Phil, who plays the flamboyant style, and both were incredible. And then both went out and waxed their opponents in singles. Zach drawing the toughest, the toughest player in the world outside of Jordan Spieth, which was Jason Day, and the conditions were horrific on during that singles. I mean, there's 30-mile-an-hour wind, pouring rain. So you saw who was able to keep the focus and grind through very, very tough conditions.
Hey Jim, when a pro uses a Seymour putter, how much different is it than the Seymour putter that I could get off the rack?
No, it's exactly the same. I mean, all of our putters share the same technology. We have a ton of different options, obviously, but there's nothing we would do for a tour player that we don't do for the average golfer. I mean, golfers can find our putters at most of the big, golf specialty stores, but they can also customize any one of our putters the same way a tour player could. So if they have a particular swing weight or a particular length or lie combination they'd like that they wouldn't be able to find in the shop, we'll do that for them. That's the only thing we would do for a tour player is make sure that, through some back and forth that we match up to what their preferences are. And every tour player is different. You see an amazing array of swing weight differences. I mean, some players, putting with putters down in the C range, and many players putting with putters that are, really kind of almost off the swing weight chart in terms of swing weight. So we'll do all that, and that's one of the cool things about Seymour Putters is that we are focused just on putters. We're a boutique type of brand, a globally known brand, but because we just focus on putters and customer service, we're able to give anybody the customer service that we would give to a tour player.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend, Frank Bassett, with Golf Talk America, and you and he play golf, and he and I have played some golf, and we were up at French Lick about a month ago, and I was facing a pretty tough putt, and he handed me his Seymour putter. He said, "Here, try this." And I sunk the putt, by the way, at which point,
that's beautiful.
I usually do,
that
okay, I need one of these.
He's trying to earn all that swag that he wears. But,
yeah, he's trying to. He's got a real nice Seymour putter bag, and he's got putters, and he's got all kinds of stuff that I don't have that we can talk about later.
Absolutely. Would love it. So we can help you out the same way.
But, I told him, I said, I love this putter. I'd like to get one. And he said, well, it's not quite that easy. You have to actually go through getting fit for it. He said, come on down to Nashville. We'll go out. We'll eat. We'll drink. We'll make merry. And somewhere in between there, we'll take you down and get you fitted for one of these things. So what exactly is entailed? What do I have to go through to get a putter that fits me?
Well, that's a great question. And, of course, we do it in Nashville at our studio, but we also have a growing army of PGA teachers and fitters and people that maybe aren't PGA but are professional club fitters and professional golf instructors who have gone through some advanced training from us, both online and in person. So, like every other golf club, it's why wouldn't you get fit for a putter, right? And most people have never been fit for a putter, and it's sort of, you can go into a putter area and find 100 putters and just keep picking them up and putting with them, and usually you end up just buying the one that you make the most putts with. But that, as everybody knows, can be very short-lived. What you really need is a putter that has a technology that you can believe in that'll give you the confidence over time to start to develop a system. And that's really where the Seymour putter comes into play. So you would gain from a fitting, learning exactly what it is about the Seymour rifle scope technology, the 2 white lines and the red dot on the top of the putter head that plays a role in an alignment system. So you hide the red dot using the bottom part of the shaft. At that point, you're set up square to your target line each and every time. That's where it starts. We want to put you in a position that's very, very comfortable in terms of your posture and very repeatable. And by getting to that, you're going to have the best chance to then get to where your stroke becomes so technically sound that eventually you get to the point where you don't have to think about the science and the technology, and you can just start to focus on each and every putt for, the line and the speed. So that's the great thing. It's a technical story. You can practice it and become better and better at it, and then at some point, it ceases to become something that you worry about. So most golfers out there, if you look, are constantly fiddling with the fundamentals of their stroke. Is my stroke right? Am I set up right? In doing that, of course, then they lose sight of the big picture, which is, hey, each and every putt has its own unique speed and line configuration that's going to help make that putt. And if you're caught up in the, constantly questioning your setup and your fundamentals, you'll never get there. Mm-hmm. So that's where the best sort of Seymour players get to over time, is that they put the time in the practice, which is a sort of a technical concept, improving your aim. But once you get there, it frees you up.
What's your official website address?
It's just Seymour.com, SEEMORE.com, and we've got all kinds of cool stuff on there, including links to a blog, and if you really want to delve into some really, really great videos and learning stuff, we have that. But, on a broad brush overview, we have pictures of all of our putters and descriptions, and you can actually customize and custom build a putter right on our site.
That's fantastic. Jim Grunberg, Seymour Putters. Appreciate your time, sir. Know you're busy. We'll let you go here, and it was that rifle scope thing that helped me. That's
awesome. Hey, we'd love to see you down here. We really would. So not too far away.
You will in the not too distant future, man. You're just down the road. I can get there.
Frank's going to buy big steaks for both of us on the PGA Tour.
Yes, he is. He doesn't know it yet, but we'll just leave him in the bill. It'll be fine. Jim, I appreciate your time, sir. Seymour Putters, you got to check them out, Seymour.com. And thank you very much for hanging with us, too, today, because we're almost done. You can check us anytime at thoseweekendgolfguys.com. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/golfguys. Follow us on Twitter at WKND Golf Guys. And I'm sure Jeff is going to be giving us some pictures from Whistling Straits to put on the website and the Twitters and all that kind of stuff, aren't you, Jeff?
I may load them up very shortly because they're gorgeous. This place is amazing.
Fantastic. So you're not coming home anytime soon. I get that tone in your voice.
You know what? I got a little gas money. I got some hotel money. I can eat. I can go to the grocery store and get a bag of grapes or something and some meat. I'm good for another few days.
Whether you're at Whistling Straits or wherever, go out and play some golf. We'll be back next week, same place, same time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.